Well, hello there. It's halfway through October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I realize that a lot of you know that I'm a breast cancer survivor, and a lot of you know my health story, but a lot of you don't. And I've made friends with a lot of people on Facebook in the last couple of years, and so I just thought I would share my story. I don't think I've ever done it this way. I got back from a health share last night. It's a place where we gather together and tell our stories, and it was really fun, and it's fun to tell my story, and hopefully helps other people and gives other people hope. So I wanted to just go back about 7 years ago and show you a picture of myself 7 years ago. So I'm going to share my screen. So this was me 7 years ago, before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I did not really take care of myself. I have been a yo-yo dieter for probably 25 years up to this point. And I was very thin my whole, growing up as a kid, I was very thin. And once I started having kids, it just went all downhill from there. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but that's what happened. And this is a picture of me right before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so you can see things had gotten quite out of hand. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was diagnosed with two kinds of breast cancer, and one was non-invasive. It's called DCIS, and they're just little white spots on a mammogram that can be seen. And the doctor, the radiologist said, usually they just go in, cut them out, do some radiation, and you're good to go. And it's kind of almost a pre-cancer. And so I was worried, but I wasn't too worried about that. But when they went in to cut those out, they found something that didn't show up on a mammogram. And that was, they found two invasive tumors. And those tumors were, because they were called invasive, that meant that I needed to have chemo. My plan changed a little bit. After a lot of prayer and getting opinions from a lot of different doctors and even the whole cancer board, I decided to have a bilateral mastectomy. And I did that before I started chemo. They put expanders in right away under the muscle in my chest. And every time I went in, every 3 weeks for a chemo treatment, I would also go in to have 70 cc's of saline filled in those expanders. That expanded my chest so that we could actually put saline implants in at some point. So I had 5 months of chemo, and you can see from the last picture and this picture that my hair didn't quite come back the way it was supposed to. It's all good, I'm alive. But after those 5 months of chemo, there's a lot of side effects that probably you wouldn't think of. And some of those are, your whole GI tract gets completely slammed with chemo, and it's raw, it's, you get sores, it's very uncomfortable. You get really tired. I was exhausted all the time. Everything hurt after I finished my cancer treatments. And maybe it's because I had like 10 surgeries. I don't know, but my body was just done and everything hurt. And my muscles, my joints, I would get up in the morning and hobble down the hallway because my feet hurt. Chemo can cause neuropathy. I don't know that I really had that, but they sure hurt. And so that's where I was about 5 years ago. For a couple of years, I tried really hard to lose weight, and I'd always been able to do it up to that point, but for some reason it just wasn't coming off. I cut my portion sizes in half. I stopped drinking soda. I didn't lose 1 pound. And with chemo eats your muscle, so that happened, and lost probably most of the muscle in my body. But because of the side effects, I had steroids. So steroids actually pack on fat. And so by the time I was done with my chemo, I couldn't fit into any of my clothes. The number on the scale, I'm just going to put it right out there. It was 200 and probably 240 pounds. And that number didn't move up and down while I had my cancer journey. But I lost muscle and gained fat, which means I couldn't fit into my clothes. So I was miserable. So set that aside for a minute. And I am the president and one of the founders of Lifting Hearts Breast Cancer Support Group. I'm sure you know what that is from all of my posts. And we were doing a health breast cancer fair at a local grocery store 4 years ago this month. And a cute woman came up to me and said, I'm a registered nurse. I'm a certified health coach. And I have a program that I think would help you and the women in your group be able to regain your health. And I don't know what it was about her or what she said, but I thought, I need to do this. So I invited her to come talk to our group because I wanted to help the survivors feel better. I wanted to feel better myself. I kind of hit rock bottom. Well, not kind of, I had hit rock bottom and I needed help. Some people can lose weight and get healthy by themselves, and I'm so happy for them, but a majority of people can't. And we just need help. And I was at that point. So I invited her to come. And in January, so it'll be 4 years this coming January, she came and talked to us, and I signed up that night. I told my husband, Rick, before I went to that meeting that I didn't care what I had to eat. I didn't care how much it cost. I didn't care what I had to do. I was done being sick. I felt like I was 80 years old and I was in a 45-year-old body. And that wasn't okay. I didn't want to feel like that for the rest of my life. And it had been 2 years since my chemo and nothing was getting better. And so I really was without hope. And my mentor coach, Jan, who is the one I met in the grocery store, she changed my life. She changed my life. She introduced me to my health coach, Candy, and together we took a journey that lasted for 28 weeks. I lost 87 pounds and 93 ounces, or inches, and that was 3 years ago, 3.5, almost 4 years ago. And I've kept the weight off, and it has been the most amazing journey for me. About 3 months after I started the weight loss journey, I had lost about 50 pounds, and Candy called me up and said, I thought you wanted to coach. You've been sending me all your people. So I thought that I needed to lose all my weight, but that wasn't true. I started coaching, and it's been about 3.5 years that I've been coaching. I've helped over 200 people, and every person that I've put on this plan who has actually done the plan and followed it has had great success. And that is such an amazing thing, to help people change their own lives and to give them hope that something's going to work. Several of my clients have become coaches and have their own teams of coaches. And I think I did the math a couple days ago, and in just my team of coaches with theirs under them, there's about 53 now. And we are helping, on average, every single month, about 400 people to regain their health. And that's just a small little part of what the company I work for does. I mean, we're just a little coaching group in that company, but 400 people that we have given hope to, we're helping them find their best selves, and it's just incredible. So I want to share my screen again so I can show you. You've all probably seen these pictures, but it's kind of crazy when you look at them all together. So this is me before. There I was at my first Komen walk, and that was several months before, maybe even 2 years before, actually, I found this program and started my health journey. And this is a progressive, it's kind of crazy seeing things next to each other. This is before my son left on his mission, Michael, and this is me when he came back. that was an interesting thing, actually, to see. And so if you see the progression, that is just an incredible thing. So then right before I started the program, I was at a breast cancer something night somewhere, and we put on these robes and we did the whole fight like a girl thing, and that was me. And just recently in May, we did it again with our own group, and there's the difference. And that right there is a 5-year difference. And wow, it's just an incredible thing to think that I was able to not only get past breast cancer, but that I was able to take my life into my own hands and really make an improvement that's going to last for my whole life. So here's my latest before and after. And I am just so grateful to that person who, and I'll just say it flat out, saved my life. Being overweight and obese is one of the leading causes of breast cancer recurrence, and it's the reason I knew I needed to lose weight. It's also one of the leading causes of getting breast cancer in the first place. And, you know, I have the same risk factor that all women have. I'm a woman, but I didn't have any other risk factor. There was no family history. There wasn't any other risk factor except for the fact that I was overweight. And really, when you look at my pictures, I was obese. And in fact, when I looked on a BMI chart, I was almost off the obese chart into morbidly obese when I started this program. And I don't know about you, but if you're overweight and even obese and you look in the mirror, you're probably like me and you did not even see an obese person. To me, obese is 500 or 600 pounds. It wasn't me. But when I looked at a chart, it was me. And it was a huge eye-opener for me. So I am so grateful that Jan actually came over and talked to me that day in the grocery store. She told me later on that she wanted to come talk to me, but she didn't know how to say something. And so she walked out of the store and she really felt prompted to turn around and go back and talk to me. And I am feeling so extremely lucky that she did that, because where would I be right now if she would not have opened her mouth? So last week I was at an elite leadership training for the company that I work for. And it was an eye-opening thing for me, a great personal development training, but it was very eye-opening as I sat there and listened to what an incredible program we have. Not just weight loss. The program encompasses every part of your life: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. And I sat there and listened to the leaders in our company talk, and I could not keep my mind from wandering over to every person that I know, all of my clients who I'm trying to help achieve optimal health, all of my best friends, all of my family, everyone who maybe has lost hope and just doesn't really love themselves. And I realized that it's not okay for me to keep this to myself. It's not. I have a gift that I can give to anyone who is willing to take the time to listen and just do it. And so that's kind of why I wanted to tell my story today. One, I wanted to make sure that because of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everyone is aware that, you know, from age 40 on, you need to get mammograms. My breast cancer was found in a mammogram. It was actually a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And the doctor told me if we would not have accidentally tripped over, the tumors weren't found. It was just the DCIS. So if we wouldn't have found those tumors when we went in to get the DCIS, you wouldn't have been able to find them on your own for about 5 years. And by that time you would have been done. I couldn't have saved you. And so there have been so many miracles that have happened in my life because of breast cancer, just finding the breast cancer and then being able to fight through that, being able to start or help start this incredible Lifting Hearts organization, meeting so many beautiful, beautiful survivors. They are my heroes. I look up to them every day. There are those who have overcome breast cancer. There are those who are still fighting. There are those whose breast cancer has come back. I love every one of them. I'm so grateful and feel so privileged that I can work with them every day. And then to be able to meet over 200-300 people that I have been able to put on a health journey that is going to change their lives, that is so fulfilling for me. And I want that for everyone. And then to have a huge new family of like-minded people who love me and who I love and who have changed my life again. So just in closing, I just want to encourage anyone out there, if you have a question, ask me. I don't care if you do my program, but I would love to help you in any way that I can. This has brought so much meaning and happiness to my life. I just want to share it. I want to wrap it up in a pretty bow and give it away because it works. It's such an important thing to get healthy. It's so important. And for those women who don't want to get a mammogram or whatever, do it. Do it. It saved my life. So contact me. I would love to talk to you about your goals, about where you are right now, and see if I can help. And if you don't think I can help, that's okay. Let's just connect anyway. And I'm so thankful for every person in my life. It's incredible, the journey that I've been on. I honestly think that I was on an okay journey where I was going before I got breast cancer. But I think that God knew that I had something more that I needed to give. And so sometimes if we don't do it ourselves, he just picks us up and he just turns us and puts us on the path that we need to be on in order to achieve our full potential. I know that's what he did for me. If I wouldn't have got breast cancer, I wouldn't have met hundreds of incredible women. If I wouldn't have been in the grocery store that day and met my mentor, Coach Jan, and my health coach, Candy, I would still be that picture that you saw to begin with. I know I would. And I wouldn't have met so many incredible people, so many incredible people. So I'm so grateful for the trials that I've gone through. I learned at this training to embrace our obstacles instead of just trying to get over them. Just embrace them and see what they can do for us. And so I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. And, spread the great word about mammograms, about breast cancer awareness. Just do me a favor and make sure the women in your lives are doing those tests and that they're aware. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for taking time to listen to this.